Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations and Reflections with Dr. KSB, a space where social work, mental health, and lived experience meet. I'm your host, Dr. Karan Sparks-Patia, or you can just call me Dr. KSB. I'm a social worker, therapist, educator, and someone who just loves to engage in real and honest dialogue and reflection. So this first episode, it's not gonna be a long one, but it is a personal one. So I am pulling back the curtain a bit and letting you all in on my why I started the podcast, why I had to hit the pause button, and what brought me back with a new name and sort of a new renewed purpose and direction. So whether you're listening on your morning walk, on your way to class or work, or you're just relaxing at home, get comfy and let's reflect together. So let's take it back. I think it was about 2020. So like many of us, I was navigating those early days of the pandemic. I was very confused, very isolated, very sick, and trying to just make sense of the sudden shift the world was taking and what was going on at that point. And so that's actually when I launched my first podcast, The Chronicle. And so many of you, if you've already been here, you probably know what that is and have listened to some of those episodes. You can go back and listen to them if you would like. But it honestly started, like the Chronicle actually started as something to really fill that silence, something to connect with others, where everything else felt so disconnected and so isolating. And so it wasn't just about filling the time though. It became a way to connect. I was able to connect with so many people. I was able to connect with my family. I'm very close to my family, so I was able to connect with my family a little bit more. They were able to come on and joke and kiki with me and all of that. But I was also able to connect with other social workers, other helpers, healers, and other change agents and advocates throughout the community that wanted to get their voices heard, wanted to get their information out there. And so it gave me this creative outlet where I could bring people together, even if it was virtual. We were able to have conversations about things that really broke up the monotony of quarantine. And so I had conversations around social work, mental health, spirituality, lived experiences that people had, all of that. There were some conversations that I had again with my family that we just talked and laughed about how like growing up and memories and things like that. So that was really nice to have. And what I loved most was that I had the freedom to really explore so many stories, so many topics from a lens that really honored humanity, honored the things that people were experiencing and talking about and living. And that felt really good to me to be able to throw out there like this is how real people are living. This is how people are experiencing things right now. And so if you go back to if you do end up going back to listen to some of those previous episodes, let me tell you, it wasn't always polished. It was not always polished. But these were real conversations. These were real and honest conversations that I was having with other individuals, as well as just like things that I was throwing out there in as a solo host. And so this is what I'm so excited about. But as you all know, if you were here in the beginning of the journey, life happened, as it always does. And I had to take a break. And so something that we have to think about is sometimes when life is moving too fast, we have to take a pause. We have to take a break. We have to step away. And so that brings me to the next chapter of this story. I took that break. And to be completely transparent, it's not something that I planned, but I knew I needed it. And so the podcast did sit quiet for a while. So the Chronicle did sit quiet for a while. I did post some different types of videos and not videos. It was just audio at the time. I did post some updates and things like that, but it wasn't, I could tell that my heart was not in it completely. Um, and it wasn't because I didn't love it. It was because I was changing. My life was changing. Things around me were changing. And so I had to be mindful of these things. During that time, I started a doctoral program. I was juggling multiple different things. I was wearing multiple hats. I was going to school full time, working multiple jobs at the same time. And to be completely honest, I also felt like I had lost sight of what the podcast's purpose was. What was I doing this for? You know? And that was one of the questions that I really asked myself. So it wasn't burnout in the traditional sense, but I like to think of it as a realignment, a calibration of sorts, of what is it that I'm doing and what is it that I want to continue to do. And so during this break that I took, I did a lot of reflecting. And aside from that question that I just pulled out there or put out there, some other questions that I asked myself: who is this space really for? Who am I doing this podcast for? And am I still connected to why I started the podcast? And so those are things that I had to be so mindful of and be and pay attention to. And that's what I did. So I mean, aside from being in the doctoral program and working, some things I wanted to make sure of as I sat with that. I sat with those questions. I reflected. I did a lot of introspection, a lot of journaling, honestly. And the answers didn't come right away. But over time, I did realize this pause was necessary. It was needed. It was something that wasn't just about the rest, but also about clarity. This is something that I love love to talk about a lot is clarity and think about a lot. But it also reminded me that it is so important and so essential for us to slow down and really recalibrate and rethink or re-examine, I'll say, what is going on in life for me. And I tell this to my clients and to my students all the time. And this is something that I needed to. I don't, it's something I still need to do. Because this is a lifelong process. But it's something during that time that I really needed to give myself. Like, how are you slowing down? What are you thinking about? And so during that time, I really learned, and I continue to learn, it's okay to outgrow the old version of yourself or an older version of yourself. Even if that version was great for its time, even if at that time that you were doing certain things, you were working and this hobby or with these people, that version of yourself was great for that time. It's okay that we outgrow that. We evolve. And that's what I did. I gave myself permission to evolve. I gave myself the chance to think about what are these things that I need to make sure that I'm continuing to do for me. So that brings me to present day. So thinking about why I'm back and why this rebrand feels so fresh, so or refreshing, so new, so good. It's been about I think about 2.5 years since I last uploaded an episode to the Chronicle. And let me tell you, this rebrand is not just about a new logo or a new title. I really feel like this is a shift in energy for me. A shift in purpose, in thought processes, in direction. And it really is a recommitment to the different values that really matter the most to me. So things around authenticity, intersectionality, curiosity, community. Community is so big. And I think about this and what comes up a lot with this. So I because I teach in an online program, community has been on my mind so much. And because previous to me teaching in an online program, my doctoral program was online as well. And so during this break, this pause, I thought so much about community and I continue to think about community and what that is. And so conversations and reflections with Dr. KSB is a space that reflects the person that I've become. The educator who holds space for all forms of growth, all forms of community. The therapist and the social worker who believes in the power of storytelling and reflection, but also that advocate who likes to uplift lived experience as the expertise. Lived experience is so important. And so, what can you expect as we move forward? As we get into the rest of this season, going into pre other seasons, what can you expect? You can expect honesty, vulnerability. You can expect some laughter. Hell, you may even get a little shade here or there. I might throw a little bit of shade out there. But most importantly, you can expect me to be having conversations and reflections, conversations with you all solo, conversations with guests that are so rooted in some level of care and reflection. And so, yeah, I'll be sharing solo episodes. I'll do some guest interviews, all exploring different themes like identity, healing, community, and also the complexities of being human. Because we all know there are very different complexities and a lot of complexities to being human. And so that's something that I want this space to be. And whether we're diving into clinical insights, I might throw some pop culture moments out there, spiritual practices, anything like that. I want this space to feel like this is where you can fully show up and reflect honestly. Show up for yourself, show up for what you need and what you want. So before we wrap up, there's a question I want to ask you. So thinking about everything that I just talked about and the levels of clarity and the moments of pause that I needed to take, what is something in your life that you may have outgrown, but you haven't given yourself the permission to release or evolve yet? I would love, 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 love to hear this. And also just think about this as we move into this new season together. As we move into learning new things and being open to new things. So as we close out today, I want to say just say thank you. You know, whether you've been here since the early days of the Chronicle or this is your first time tuning in, I just want to say I see you. I'm grateful you're here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening and sitting here and dealing with my voice. But if this did resonate with you, if this is something that resonated with you, please share it. Send it to a friend, to a colleague, to a fellow social worker, or even just someone who needs to hear that it's okay to pause, to pivot, and to come back renewed, refreshed, revitalized. Make sure to follow, make sure to like, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. This will really help other folks find this space and build that community. And also, don't forget, you can stay tuned and stay connected with me on social media and through my website. And all those links will be in the show notes. But until next time, keep reflecting, keep growing, and take care of you. Thank you for listening.